Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm alive still. I know it's been a while since I filmed a video, but I have a really cool topic to bring forth today to maybe stimulate some thoughts. I'm assuming most of the people who follow me here are a parent or is a parent, and what I have, experienced over the past 7.5 years of being a parent is how every waking moment, and even sometimes sleeping moments, sometimes even your dreams, every moment that you live is for your kids. And all of the thoughts and energy tend as a parent to go towards your children. So the topic that I'm bringing forth today is about being comfortable with putting yourself first sometimes, or spending money in particular on yourself. This topic was kind of stimulated, by a couple of friends of mine when I was having a conversation with them about, their income and how much of it's actually put towards something for them, be it clothes or a date or a massage, a beautiful piece of furniture, etc. And when we really sat and thought about it, we were like, you know what? There's not a lot of our money going towards us. Everything is usually for the kids, games and toys and clothes and all of that stuff. So I'm hoping today to make you a little more comfortable with spending money on yourself without feeling guilty and actually feeling proud of yourself. So this is going to be different for everybody depending on your income and all of that. So I want to just dive in. It's a very informal, just chat video. I guess I'll start with my personal experience that might be help you guys relate and maybe understand a little bit more about what I'm actually talking about here. So I have 3 kids. I had 3 kids under 3 years. I actually got married at 19, and I had my first when I was 20. So I was a really young mom, and growing up, from day one since I was born, my family, we were not, wealthy. My dad was an immigrant. My mom's parents were immigrants. So everything that they made in terms of money, they had to work so hard for. My dad in particular, and it can bring me to tears when I think about how hard my parents worked. My dad immigrated. He was only, I think, 16 when he left his country, Iraq, and then went, I believe, to Lebanon and or Italy, and then came to Canada. And he couldn't speak the language. He had no education, so he had to figure it out. And because of that, we grew up, we had everything we ever needed. My parents, no matter how tight we were, they always provided, and it was incredible. And we never wanted for anything. We had everything we could have ever needed, which just goes to show how incredible not just my parents, but so many immigrant parents are, because they're coming to a strange place without the language, without any jobs, without any money, and they make it work. So again, we didn't need anything, but we did grow up extremely tight, very financially strained. We also, we were a big family. My parents had 7 kids. So the money that they did have had to be dispersed among the 7 kids. So it was very difficult. Only my dad worked. My mom was a stay-at-home mom to take care of all 7 of us. So we grew up, again, very, very financially tight. But in terms of, again, what we needed, we felt like we had everything. So it didn't feel tight, but my parents did a great job of doing that. But because we grew up really tight and not with a lot of money, I kind of grew up with this mentality to save your money, to put it towards something that's meaningful, to not just spend money and blow money left and right, because, money is precious and there's not a lot of it. And when I got married, I was really young. And at the time, I was in university, so I wasn't able to work. So I was in university full-time trying to get my degree in biological sciences, as I wanted to go to med school. So I was just head in the books, and I had kids, so I was not able to work. So we were also one income at the start of our marriage, and it was extremely financially tight. We had my school debt, and we had a new house that we had just bought, and 3 little kids to take care of. So again, it was really, really tight. And in the beginning, what we ended up spending our money on was the necessities, like our house, our food. For my kids, it was obviously the clothes, the very basics, and we didn't have any extra to spend, not even on a vacation or anything like that. It wasn't until about 5 years ago I finally started my own business. So Holistic Spring, I'm a homeopath and a holistic nutritionist. So I have a holistic practice where I see patients or clients and improve their health. So when I started my business, it actually took off really quickly, thankfully. And we are now what we consider a two-income household where my husband works and I also work full-time with my business, which thankfully is very successful. It's doing really, really well. And what I started to realize was even though our income had significantly gone up, because again, before we were, I grew up really tight. And then when I got married, we were so tight, one income. And then going from that to my business taking off and my finances, increasing, what I noticed was our expenses stayed the same. So we, just because our income went up, we were not spending more. We weren't buying more things. We weren't, buying brand name clothes or living a lavish lifestyle. We just kept things very simple still. And I still, bought what I was used to buying back when we were really financially strained. And so this is kind of what started that thought process with my friends. Obviously as our income went up, we were able to do more home renovation. So that is one thing that we put our money towards, was renovating our home, and we're still doing that. But aside from that, like, our physical day-to-day expenses didn't change. So that's kind of the backstory. What I want to bring forth is for parents, moms in particular, or whoever's the stay-at-home parent, or at least the one who's putting most of their energy towards the care of the children in the home. It can be so easy to feel guilty. Once I started having money of my own to spend, because my business was doing well, I would feel guilty, even though that money wasn't needed for any of our necessities. It was extra. I would feel so guilty to go and take myself out to a restaurant, or to buy a new pair of shoes, or to buy a new couch, or to go get a massage. Whatever it was, I would feel so guilty, whether I was spending $5 at Starbucks or $1,000. It doesn't matter. I couldn't spend that money on myself. I would feel guilty, and when I did, I would regret it. I would be like, I could have put that money towards the kids' braces in the future, or towards savings, or new clothes for my kids, or I could have taken my kids out to a restaurant. And that guilt would just build up and build up anytime I tried to spend money on myself. And I think a lot of people who grow up with not a lot of money, who grow up with in a low income household, I think you guys might be able to relate a little bit more versus someone who perhaps grew up with a lot more money, because they might not have the same guilt. But I feel like it's there regardless, for most parents, regardless of your income. Always as a parent, most of the time, I feel like you're like, I can spend money on my kids easily. I can drop hundreds on my kids, but I can't even spend $5 or $10 on myself. I do feel like that's pretty standard across the board. But more so, the guilt's more so there for anyone who's lower income or who grew up in a really tight position. And so my husband was saying to me, he was like, we are always, putting money towards the kids' things. We're buying the kids clothes. We're buying them toys. We're buying them all these things. We're doing things. We're saving for their future. Like, go do something for yourself. And even though you give me that logic, I still would feel guilty. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, is how do we not feel guilty, and how do we feel more comfortable spending money on ourselves? I have actually made a lot of improvement in this area, and I don't want this video to be seem like a selfish video. That's not the intention. But as a parent, again, mom or dad, although I am leaning towards moms with this topic, because I feel like dads might not have that kind of guilt that moms do. We're more empathetic usually. As a mom, you get so caught up in your kids' lives that you kind of put your wants and needs on hold. And that's what being a parent is about. It's about sacrificing and putting your child first. That's the love of a parent. So that's natural. But at the same time, us moms do need TLC. We do need some time for ourselves. You have children and they're with you from day one until they move out, which is anywhere between, 18 to 30. And every waking second and every dollar that you have is put towards them. So you do need that TLC. You need that little bit of luxury for yourself to feel better once in a while. And it's not physically that spending money makes you feel better, but if spending money is a way that you can relax, again, a massage, or go on a date so you don't have to cook, or you can enjoy some quiet on your own, or spend a little bit of money if you have it to go on a vacation, or even, you had the same pair of shoes for several years where your kids get a new pair every year, maybe buy yourself a new pair of shoes so you can feel better and know that, yes, being a mom is not all I am. I am still me. I'm a person and I need to take care of me. So that's more what it's about. It's not about, oh, I spent enough money on my kids, I'm just going to go start spending money on myself. That's not what this is. It's just about removing that guilt that you feel when you do put yourself first, because you do need to as a parent, or you'll burn out and you'll have resentment. I know so many parents, and when I talk, like, they're older than me, they're in their 40s or 50s. And when I talk to them, whether it's aunts or, my mom's friends, or, people that I know, whether it's from my church or somewhere else, and I talk to them, I always hear so much resentment when they refer to their kids. They're like, oh, my kids, your kids are going to mooch off you your whole life, or, oh, you just wait, your kids are never going to move out, they're always going to be demanding things from you. And there's a lot of resentment that you can sense in their tone. And I think that most of, at least my parents' generation, at least where I live, a lot of them were immigrated here, or their parents were, and so they grew up lower income and they didn't have a lot of extra funds to put to themselves. So every penny that they did have went to their children's needs. And I feel like that might lead to perhaps some resentment in the future. So if you have it, and it could be $2 for a tea at a store, at a Tim Hortons or a McDonald's tea, or it could be a $5 Starbucks macchiato once in a while, or it could be a new pair of shoes just even once a year. Depending on how much money you have, you don't need to, again, be spending all this money on lavish things. If you have the money, you can do what you want. But if you only have a few extra dollars, it could just be, I'm going to take $5 and I'm going to get a fancy coffee drink, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm not going to feel guilty or regret it. And I think that if you do this for yourself, and this is just a young mom and opinion, this is not something that is coming from a therapist or anything like that. This is just my personal opinion from what I've experienced over the past 7.5 years as being a mom and being very, very low income, especially at the start. I feel like if you're putting money towards yourself, there's so much less resentment down the line. You'll be able to say, you know what, I gave my all to my children, but I also met my own needs. And you don't feel like your children just suck everything from you and take all of your energy and your money and everything else. And then there's that resentment there that you're not able to live or enjoy your life because of your kids. You should be enjoying your life with your kids and all of that, not having that resentment. So what I've been doing, and I hope that maybe you can incorporate this, because my income has gone up, and thanks be to God, we are nowhere near as tight as we used to be. I do have those extra, little bit of wiggle room in terms of finances to take myself out to a restaurant or, something like that. So the first thing that I did was I actually bought this couch, this beautiful couch behind me. I had it custom made. I had saved up for 8 years to purchase this couch. Beforehand, I had this brown couch that was given to me from some relatives, which I was so grateful for at the time when we had no extra money to buy a couch. They had given it to us, but it was not my style. It didn't match the house. And, I would look at it every day for 8 years and just say, I can't wait till I have a new couch in this spot. And so once I'd saved up enough, I was about to buy this couch, and instantly I was like, if I take this money, because it was not like, it was I think $1,400 for this couch, which I saved up over 8 years. I didn't just get the cash and buy it. I had to save up that money over 8 years. But I remember once I had that $1,400 and I was ready to buy the couch, I was like, you know what? If I take this $1,400, I can buy the kids new desks in their room. I can get a new thing for Lily, a new bunk bed for the boy. And I started picturing things of how I can spend it on my kids. Instantly that guilt came in where I can't spend $1,400 for something that I want when there's things that my kids might need or, would enjoy. And so thankfully my husband was like, just buy the couch. You've been wanting a couch for 8 years. This is going to bring you so much joy that you will be better as a mom. You're going to feel happier. And not that, material things make you happy, but when it's just something that you've been wanting for a while or looking forward to, it does bring a sense of joy and excitement. And that does make you a better parent, in my opinion, if you have that joy in your life. So I thankfully got the couch, and it was the greatest decision. Every day I look at my couch and I just smile, and I'm like, I finally have a couch that is completely my style, that I love, and that I've worked hard for and I've saved up for, and I love it. So another thing that I'll do is, and not that you guys have to buy a couch, but I'm just kind of spitting out my thoughts here. But another thing that I will do is, if I have a little bit of extra money and my kids' needs are met, they have their clothes and everything. If I need something new, like I have my wardrobe that I have right now is the same wardrobe that I've had for almost 10 years. I've updated a couple pieces, like some new pairs of jeans because my old ones would rip, but that's pretty much it. I haven't really bought too much extra stuff. So what I will start to do if I have extra money is I'll take my shirt that's 10 years old and faded, and I will replace it for a new top or a new purse that I've maybe had for so many years. And it doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's something you can save up for, you know, $30 here, $20 there, $50. And when you do get something new, you feel like $1,000,000, and you then take that energy of excitement, and you put it into your life, and you end up being a better parent. So how can we remove this guilt? Remove it. It's simple. It's just do it. When you have some money and you are going to potentially spend it on your kids, something that they might not need immediately, just think about it and say, can I take a little portion of that and put it towards something that maybe I need, or that me and my husband need together? And it feels amazing. So you need to like let go of this sense of guilt, and just picture, you know, what you're going to feel like after you go out and take an hour for yourself for a massage. You're going to come back so much more relaxed and a better parent. Or if you take $30 and go out to a restaurant and enjoy a meal that you didn't have to cook for yourself, you're going to feel so calm and at peace. Or take that $100 and buy a couple new pieces of clothing. You're going to feel like $1,000,000, and that energy transfers to the kids. Or save up and buy a new couch or something that you need, and you don't have to put every single penny, because as parents you feel like you do, to your children. This is a longer video, but I didn't intend for it to be this long, but I just wanted to, again, spit out my thoughts. You know, after this conversation with my friends, I thought maybe someone here would want to hear this. And I know that when I look back at those first few years of marriage, when we were so financially tight, and like we were very, 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 very tight. We were really low income. And when I look back at those years, they're beautiful years. But what I always picture and remember is I was really depressed and really frustrated. And not because the kids by any means, but because they do require a lot of things, all the diapers and the formulas and the clothes and the cribs, and then the you know, books and every little thing that you purchase. There was never an extra penny to put towards, you know, something for me. Like it could be a nail polish. There wasn't any extra money. Now, if I bought them one less book, because they maybe didn't need as many books that I bought them, I could have purchased that nail polish or something like that. But at the time I had so much guilt, where we have no money, we're so tight, the money we do have has to go to the kids. That's usually how parents think. And if I look back now, I would have done things differently, and I know that it would have changed my energy and my I guess like my thoughts and the way that I would feel. And then that, if you're feeling kind of sad, or you know, like I want something and I can't have it, or you know, kind of like a negative emotion, that transfers to the kids. And if you feel, you know, happy and you like yourself, that also transfers to the kids. So I think there would have been some different energy in the house at the time had I thought differently and not had that mom guilt. So I hope that you enjoy this video. I hope that after you watch this, again, it's not about spending money on and necessarily on material things. It's about putting you first for once and not feeling guilty about it. So what I start to do now is once a week, I will go out with a girlfriend or a sibling, or even on my own. I crave quiet and alone time, and I will go to a restaurant and I will order a meal, and I will not feel guilty about it. I won't feel guilty about the price. I will sit down and I will enjoy it, and I will come home and I'm a better mom for it. I also used to, before COVID, I would go get massages every week. I would save up for it and I would go every week. And now, again, because my business is doing better, it's not something that I like have to pull out of like our, you know, my kids' future savings or something. Thankfully, we have a little bit of wiggle room. So I would go for a massage once a week, and it took me a while to not feel guilty about doing that. But I don't anymore. I just feel so, like I look forward to it, and I know that it's going to make me a happier and better mom. And then, you know, little things like if we're trying to save up to renovate my kitchen, I know that's a huge project and it's something that I've wanted done for so long. So when we do get it, I'm not going to feel guilty about spending the money on that. I'm going to feel excited and proud, and that again will transfer to my kids. So I hope that you enjoyed this little chatty video. I'm sorry it's been a while, but I will, you know, be checking in hopefully sooner than later on here again. Follow me on Instagram to keep up with me from day to day. It's at Marla's Healthy Life. And yeah, I hope you guys had a beautiful long weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.